We do have some callers online next, if you're ready.
Sure.
Great. Maria, go ahead. How can we help?
Hi there. Thank you for taking my call.
We're happy to help. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you. So my question is, I'm dealing with an estate right now, which is my father's estate.
Okay.
And he's passed away, and my mother has also passed away. They were never officially divorced. However, my father had a partner of 17 years, and she's, well, effectively suing us. Yeah, and so my question is really to the point of what overrides what? I mean, I understood from one lawyer that the will overrides everything, and she is not in the will. But then others who are not, trained in this area say, well, that's common law, and she's entitled to something. She's entitled to half or whatever, what the estate is worth. So I'm just wondering if you could help me sort this out, because I don't seem to get a straight answer from anyone.
Maria, this is a great question. In fact, you may want to even tune into our next show, which will be Wills and Estates as well, to even further elucidate this issue, because it kind of crosses over. But Andrew, could you shed some light for Maria?
It doesn't cross over as much as you think, because it really doesn't have much to do with family law at this point. This is something where you need an estates lawyer to be representing you rather than a family law lawyer. The best thing for you would probably be, there are some lawyers who practice estates law and family law, and that's the type of lawyer you would want to have, because I know I'm completely not qualified to comment on estate litigation, and that sounds a lot like estate litigation.
So Maria, sorry that we couldn't help you out there, but if you want to make sure that you stay tuned for our next episode, we are covering this area, and we'll be happy to help. Thank you so much, Maria, and best of luck to you, as I know that's a very hot issue that's happening right now with respect to divorces not going through and new spouses coming in and out. But thank you again, Maria. To our viewers at home, if we can help you with any family law related matter, getting a divorce, separating before you get married, or as well as dealing with not wanting or having to pay for spousal support, give us a call. We're happy to help. Yes, that's a very interesting area. Just one question then. If a divorce isn't finalized, what are the repercussions as far as one person remarrying, for example?
Well, if the divorce isn't finalized, you're not free to remarry.
You're right. Even if it's 25 years?
25 years, 30 years, you're not free to remarry.
You better do the paperwork.
Absolutely. I mean, the most important thing really is a separation agreement.
Right.
Because if the separation agreement is drafted properly, it would be a release from each spouse against one another. So that way, the former spouse can't make any claims against the estate, even if you die.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So would that apply even if you don't go through with the divorce?
Yes, it would.
Fabulous. And we're going to get to that, but we do have some callers that are waiting patiently for you. So we'll move on to that. And then remind me, Andrew, it's your memory that I'm relying upon. I really would like to talk about the separation agreement and the role that plays in a divorce as well. Bill, go ahead. Thank you for being so patient, Bill. How can we help?
Hi. My situation is this. I live in Toronto, and my fiance is American. We're not married.
Okay.
We've been living back and forth from America to Toronto and so forth, New York and Toronto, New York and Toronto. But we had a son together.
Okay.
He's born American.
Okay.
He's almost 2.
Okay.
If I have to be, for my health care and so forth, I have to be back 6 months in a day I can be away.
Okay.
So I cannot live in America. She has to come here, but she doesn't want to come here.
Okay.
To Toronto. What are my rights as a father to bring my son to Toronto?
That's an excellent question, Bill, and something that's very important. We see a lot of that right now with parents commuting all over the place. So what are Bill's rights to make sure that his child doesn't effectively disappear on him over the border?
Well, Bill, I'm going to tell you information you're not going to want to hear. And it starts with, what court would have jurisdiction to deal with this matter? Would it be a Canadian court here in Ontario, or would it be a court in the state of New York? And in dealing with a child, the test is, what was the habitual residence of the child on the date of separation? What that really means is, where was that child living on the date of separation? From what you've described, it sounds like your child is living in New York. And if your child is living in New York, then that means New York is the correct place for you to go to court and deal with that issue. So you would need to hire a lawyer in the state of New York, and you would need to deal with it there.
Does New York, would you happen to know, Andrew, if New York would have the similar type of best interest of the child test as we do here in Ontario?
I believe they do have the best interests of the child, and it's going to be what type of schedule is carved out for you. I mean, when you live in a different country or even different cities, it's very hard to have an equal time schedule or a very active schedule, and you have to be creative in terms of you having time when you go visit there, and what type of accommodation are you going to have there, the times you can bring them back here. You're going to want more of the summer. But the problem is, this is a very young child, and if it's a very young child, especially if he hasn't been away from mother much, you're not going to get those large chunks of time for a few years until the child starts to get to an older age.
Bill, is he with your mother, your son, or the mother?
Pardon me?
Bill,
Sorry?
is your son typically with your fiancée?
We're not married, no.
Oh, sorry. You said to the mother of your child. Is that son always in New York, or is the son with you most of the time?
Well, we're living here for 4 months, back there for 4 months, back here. Now it's in New York.
Now it's in, okay. And when?
Yeah, so if the situation is she was willing to come over, I'm willing now, right, to get a place there and see, like go back there 2 weeks, come back here 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. And then in the summertime, and again, the month of August, she gets a month of July or something. Can that work with a 2-year-old, or I have to wait till like when he's 5 or 7 or something?
Well, you can make a schedule work for you, and it's really important for you to be involved in the child's life. So if the child's habitual residence is currently New York, then you're going to have to figure out how much time are you able and what you can financially afford to spend in New York to have regular time with your child, because you might range for Skype visits, but that's not going to be the same as being with your child. So you're going to need to figure out what works and what you can make work. It's just, if this was a 10-year-old child, it's a lot easier to say, I should have somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks in the summertime because I don't have as much other time. I should have all of the Christmas break. With a 2-year-old, that child's going to be too young to be away from mother for 4-week blocks of time. And as the child gets older, you'll get larger blocks, but by all means, you should be as heavily involved in this child's life as you can be. It's in the best interest of your child.
So, Bill, I guess the best approach right now is to create a schedule with the child's mother that helps the both of you and that works for the both of you. And then as time goes on, perhaps make a better argument for more time in certain parts.
Or try and build it into the agreement now, but you would need to, and you should speak to a lawyer in the state of New York if the child is living in New York.
Bill, does that help answer your question?
So basically, I have to, if to see my child, I have to go to New York and get a place there and see him, and then come back and forth.
It's not that you have to get a place there. It's you have to find a place that you can facilitate time with your child, whether that's you staying in a hotel room,
okay.
But you want to make it a child-friendly place and a place that your child's going to have a positive experience in when he's spending time with you. Those kind of discussions are much better with a local lawyer, because quite frankly, things change even here in Ontario from courthouse to courthouse, from judge to judge. So if you're considering that, I think it's really important that you would be hiring a lawyer that is local to where your child currently is located in New York.
But generally, I would say to Bill, and perhaps this is something that we could put to it, is that always when it comes to dealing with children, it's about creating a good environment, a positive environment, one that's regular and predictable. Is that correct?
That's right.
That always helps play in
That's
your
right.
favor. So, Bill, that's your best bet. Create a positive, welcoming, like predictable type of environment for your child, and do get a lawyer in New York, because that's where this issue might end up falling. Thank you so much, Bill, for your call, and hopefully that helps you today. Again, to our viewers at home, please do give us a call. We're happy to help answer a lot of those murky legal questions that relate to family law.